Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we've got two left before we earn the Thronebreaker title. Today we're going to go over 6.4.5. Right off the bat here, we're going to start off by talking about the path nodes and who you're going to face. Go through and look at the mini boss and the main boss for this one, who is a little bit more of a unique boss. Just in the fact that he's not a traditional playable character like the last several have been, which we're going to be dealing with for the next couple bosses. After this, we will be starting on the Cavalier series for the backup account and the Paragon series for the main account. We'll be alternating through those and pushing forward. Obviously, we'll keep doing our crystal openings every week and our live streams, but let's go ahead and get into this one today and talk about what we're going to be facing. Right off the bat here, the nodes that you're going to have to worry about for the path itself. First off, Lionheart. If you try to reverse or negate their healing ability, their regen abilities at any point in time, instead what it's going to do is increase their healing ability by 300%, and you will actually take a direct damage of 200% of their attack over 5 seconds. So you want to make sure you're not bringing in your heal blockers or your heal reversers like Yondu, Void, Magic, any of these type of people. You don't want them in. And I get it, especially on this path. There's a lot of people that traditionally you would bring those in for that. Leave them at home this time. Then you get Arc Overload. Every 20 seconds, they gain an armor up and 6 seconds of regen that'll regen 25% of their max health. So even on the champions here that don't have as big a regen, even more, but you're going to want to be doing high damage to counteract that regen. And again, you don't want to be blocking it. You don't want to be stopping it. Just fight against it. Lastly, they also have what's called Mirror Image. Every 7 seconds, all cruelty, precision, resistance, fury, armor up, and regen buffs get copied for 7 seconds. So anything you have can also be used against you. What fun can we have here? So right off the bat here for the path, nobody through the mini boss has anything special, anything beyond the path nodes. As a matter of fact, the mini boss only has increased health, so you don't even have to worry about any extra nodes on her. Let's take a look at who all is on the path that we took here. Right off the bat, we've got X23, followed by Darkhawk, Goldpool, Angela, Goblin, and Sabretooth. And then finally, we will be going over to the mini boss of Guillotine 2099. Now, you can see here, most of these champions, with the exception of Sabretooth, are metal champions, including the boss here. So this is a great level for Magneto. Also, it is a great opportunity to horseman him and make him even better. We'll be talking about that more here in just a second. But first, let's go ahead and look at the Hydra Adaptoid here and what nodes you're going to have to deal with. He has armor break immunity, unblockable specials, Force of Will, which makes him immune to ability accuracy reduction, and then Limber, which makes it so that every time you stun him, your stun duration for the next stun goes down by 10%. So repeated stuns eventually are going to wear off, so the Hulk juggle wouldn't necessarily last long enough for him. Next, he has the Vigor node. Every 15 seconds, he will regen 50% of his health over 5 seconds. The timer does get reset every time you drop him 25% of his health. So at each one of those milestones, you can buy yourself a bit more time. Again, this is why you want high damage dealing champions. Ideally, Doom and Magneto are very well set for this fight. I'm not good enough with Doom at this point to have done what needed to be done here, but you can see the basics. Also on Magneto, I do make some mistakes as well. Also, I did consider the idea of Tigra coming in for this one. She does do some work, but we'll take a look at how that went in a moment. Lastly, you are going to have to keep in mind that he has Matador, meaning that you only gain a bar of power when he uses a special. So you're going to be limited on your power gain. So if you're looking for those champions that are special reliant, which if Tigra wasn't awakened would be a hindrance in a way, but not necessarily still shut her down. Luckily enough, mine is awakened and a decent sig even at this point. Obviously, by the time we are now, and not when I actually recorded this, she is tremendously better. So we'll probably take a look at her at some point here in the future. So for this particular level, I did look at the idea of bringing in Magneto as my main champion here. Right off the bat here, we're going to start with Apocalypse because I am wanting to Horseman Magneto there so that I can have him do most of the work on this path. Honestly, I do almost all the work with him. There's a couple times I take advantage of the idea that, I fell just a little short, and I love playing Wolverine, so it was a great time to play him. I brought him in mostly just for the synergy to boost Magneto even more. You'll also see that I have Omega Red on the team because he's a nice fallback and also has a great synergy with both Wolverine and Magneto, giving even more boost to the team. Dr. Doom as well has synergies with Magneto, which made him even more valuable because he was a nice, reliable fallback for high damage, and as I mentioned, is going to be a fairly decent counter for the boss there. So this fight really didn't go that badly. We did let her go into the special 3 there, but all in all, for the most part, we took her down straight up so that we could get our Horseman synergy set. Okay, and then we went into the Darkhawk fight. At this point, we had Magneto fully Horseman and were able to get in here. Did a little bit of initial damage, just go ahead and get his magnetization applied on there, and then fell back to start getting our prowess charges worked up. Once we got fully up to those, maintaining them as much as possible while building up to the special 3. We did let off the special 1 a couple times there when we thought I had a decent opportunity, but fell short a couple times, so we had to get the prowess charges back up, get up to that special 3, which building to that we took a bit of damage in the process of, but as soon as we fell into that against a metal champion, instant KO. So turn around, healed up, came in, Gold Pool falls into the same category. Metal Champion against Magneto is always a win, and against Horseman Magneto is even more so a win. Now, Gold Pool is one you do have to worry about. He does have a decent amount of regen. X-23 obviously has a lot more than he does in most scenarios. But obviously we used Apocalypse for that fight because we needed the charges right off the bat to be able to even Horseman him. So we get down to that last little bit, and he caught that regen and to counter off just enough of the bleed to not be able to go down off of. And unfortunately, we had taken too much damage at that point and had to bring Magneto back in. Now, mind you, at this point, we are so low on health for him that we figured this should have been just a very straightforward fight, and it should have ended rather quickly, especially with full health there. But I didn't stick to the strategy as well and got caught far too many times, so I ended up bringing Apocalypse in to go ahead and finish him off for me. Later on, you'll see that does happen once or twice again, but for the most part we do go ahead and finish each and every one of the fights with, for the most part, Magneto up until we get to the mini boss, and she gave us a little bit more problems. So then we went into this Angela fight here, and Again, this is another champion that obviously we have the ability to have as a metal champion to give Magneto his full potential here. Once again, build all the way up to the special threes with full prowess and instantly do that special 3. And even if we don't get an instant kill, the bleed will take care of them. Now, in the process of this, we ended up catching Angela up to her special 3, and so we did take a little extra damage there. We did have to heal up before coming into Hulk Ragnarok here, but obviously you did see Angela went down instantly for the most part. Rinse and repeat with pretty much everybody most of the way down. As soon as I'm built up. Now, obviously, Deadpool here is not a metal champion, so we had Omega Red waiting in the wings. Great opportunity to not necessarily worry about negating his regen, so that we don't have to worry about taking that. But we can, between the power of Omega Red plus on top of that full death spores, we can almost suck out his life faster than he can regen it. So we do most of the work here, almost have him all the way down. We're consistently keeping the spores on, but he does catch us right there at the end. It was a little bit of a back and forth. So we turned around. I mentioned, there was a couple times that I wanted to play with Wolverine, so I did. Unfortunately, first off, I don't have him as a 6-star yet. And secondly, even if I did, I have too many other mutants right now that are too high a priority that even though he is my all-time favorite Marvel character, his eventual level up would still have to wait a while. Especially knowing that we'd need 200 sig levels into him to truly enjoy him. But back to the standard Magneto prowess charges, build up to special 3, take a little bit of damage in the process. Should have spent more time on a lot of the parries and we would have saved a lot of potions. But you can still see here, Magneto still does the work. He consistently takes everybody down along the path. We shouldn't have bothered bringing him in for Sabretooth here. This was a mistake. Now, the thought process behind that was Sabretooth can bleed. But without the additional metal damage, it doesn't bleed as... It still bleeds tremendously, but nowhere near the way of having that initial chunk of health gone. So we did have to finish this one off with Wolverine as well, but I mean, hey, there's a little bit of poetic justice in finishing Sabretooth off with Wolverine instead of Magneto. So he's about to catch us right here. Yep. And that's all that she wrote, folks. So we brought Wolverine in and let him actually get the claws bloody. And then we were on to the Guillotine 2099 fight. Now, honestly, this one should have been very straightforward with Magneto, especially considering she has absolutely nothing else on her. If I would have consistently parried her, kept the prowesses up, build up to the special 3 a couple times, we would have been fine. But of course, we allowed ourselves to get caught repeatedly, and this is what fighting her does, because then we can't get to the special 3 because she's constantly power draining us. So that's something you need to worry about, because it's a pain to honestly avoid her special 1 if you're cornered. So this one, we did most of it, but in the process, we let ourselves fall behind repeatedly, let her get up to the special 3. So, hey, we'd already cleaned everybody else with Wolverine. Why not try? No, didn't work. Of course it didn't work. So let's bring in Apocalypse. Apocalypse, obviously, he's already built up most of his charges, but oh yeah, that's right. He doesn't get a lot of his advantages against robots, especially tech robots, which they all are. Um, so, of course, that didn't work either. So we went back to the well of Magneto, which is where we should have been in the first place. We could have saved a couple of revives there, not have to, and also saved a bit of time, plenty of which we are going to use up on the boss. So we did switch out Wolverine for Tigra, costing us a bit of the bonuses that we had in line for Omega Red and for Magneto. So I'm not sure that it wouldn't necessarily have been better off if we would have tried to consistently go with Magneto on it and left him with the extra ability there. Thought I could do plenty of the work with Tigra. Unfortunately, we didn't get nearly as much initially off of him as I wanted. As a matter of fact, that's going to be the problem here. This one's going to drag out way too far because we were consistently over and over again just letting ourselves get enamored. And I did not play Doom nearly as well as you need to for Doom to be the counter for this, nor did I put enough into Magneto for him to fully be the counter for this either. So this one drags, guys. I'll be honest with you. It took us more than a few revives to get through him. But the counters that I'm advising here are 100% the ones that you should use. Tigra, Magneto, or Doom. Even Apocalypse is possible here. I advise, honestly, if you're good with Doom 100%. If you can consistently parry well, then Magneto has a lot of potential for this fight. It is a pain to get him up to that special 3. Which is the biggest problem because of the Matador node. So you're gonna have to be able to parry him and build yourself up, and be able to dex his special 1, so that you can. You gotta be able to dex 3 of them. Unfortunately. This is also where Tigra has the advantage, is because if we were getting a cleaner run on it with Tigra, she has that auto miss off of holding the heavy, so she can avoid that special 1 100% and build up to her specials easier. She probably has the bet. Okay. She has the best advantage of all of them when it comes to that. As you can see here, we whittled him down little by little. This is one of the things that I've advised to everybody on 100 occasions. You don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a one and done. Make sure that you've got the resources in place before you go in. Save up some units, some revives, some potions before each one of these levels. If you don't use them all getting through a level and you still have a decent amount, do your next level. If you do use them all, go farm back up and then do it one level at a time. It doesn't all have to be done in a single night. We have, but that was because we wanted to get the content ready for you guys. So as you can see here, guys, we did finally finish him off there with Magneto, and we're able to move on. And that does put us to 6.4.6, something that I know a lot of you guys are waiting on, not only for the information, which I know is the helpful thing, but for the entertainment value of watching how badly that this is about to go for me against the Grandmaster. Yeah, stay tuned for that one, guys. It's gonna be out tomorrow, so I will see you guys back for that one. I hope this helps, and I hope you guys are one step closer to that Thronebreaker title, because it does make a big difference. Our account has grown tremendously since becoming so. Obviously, the Gwenpool Bubble Bobble store helped a lot with that. If you haven't checked it out, though many of you have, I know for sure, feel free to jump over and check out the crystal opening from this last weekend. It was off the chain. But remember, guys, spend responsibly. Don't try and repeat what I did. It is not worth it if you cannot afford it. There is absolutely no reason to do so. And if you're trying to get through these levels, take them one step at a time. Build up your stuff. Farm it through the game. Don't worry about chasing it. Don't worry about fear of FOMO. Just take it at your own pace. And we'll see you back for the next one. Peace out.